terms of scale and scope and how it affects the MCU, yes, this will be the biggest MCU movie since Endgame. I do not believe that it will top Spider-Man No Way Home box office numbers, and there's a few reasons for that. Number one, Spider-Man is its own animal.
Mhm.
There's a difference between bringing in generation 20 plus years of Spider-Man movies. I mean, those are still some of the biggest movies ever made. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, first two Spider-Man movies were outside of the MCU, they are two of the biggest box office movies ever made. Not that the X-Men aren't going to bring in people, but this isn't an X-Men movie. We will get an introduction to the X-Men. But that's the reason number one, is because that was 20 some years of Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man is the biggest Marvel property. You can say what you want about what the MCU has done with and without Spider-Man, but Spider-Man as a property is bigger than anything else. The second reason why I don't think it will top those numbers is that people were taking their kids to see Spider-Man.
Good point.
Everything they've said about this movie is that this movie is darker. It's the closest thing they've ever done to horror. It's still going to be PG-13. They're not going to have an R-rated movie in the MCU other than maybe Deadpool down the road, if they even go that far. But I don't think that there's going to be quite as many people taking their 8-year-old kids to this movie, which obviously plays a factor in the box office. I'm not suggesting that this movie won't do well. That's not what I'm saying at all. But to say it's going to touch box office numbers from what Spider-Man No Way Home did, I can't get on board with that.